Welcome to Final Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. What's up guys, this is Theo from Final Concept, and today I'm going to show you how I created a Black Panther artwork from this image. So I downloaded this image from Google, and honestly I don't remember the name, but I'll try and leave a link in the description below so that you can follow along. So let's just get started. I'm going to make this a square, so I'll just move over to the crop tool, which is right here, crop tool. Then I'll change the size by 1 by 1, so we have something like this. I'll click and drag this probably about here. I don't want the entire image, just some part. Okay, so let's begin drawing. We are going to be using our pen tool for the art, so just press P on your keyboard or just click over here for pen tool, and make sure that at the top here, which is part, you change it to shape. We are going to be using shapes instead. So let's change the color to probably let's pick it from, let me see, let's pick it from here. So it's slightly blue, or I should say darkened blue instead, and we are going to use our pen tool to draw over this entire shape. So let's start with the head and let's start drawing. Okay, so I'll click over here, I'll click and drag over here, move up, click and drag from here too. Now if the anchor points are at a place you don't want, hold down Alt, then you click and drag it back to where you want it to belong. Okay, so let's continue. We are going to do this for the entire face, or the head I should say. So let's start with the head, right about here. Okay, like I said, you should make sure it is set to shape and not path. If it's path, you have to grab your gradient tool, then color the entire thing all over again. That's too much work. Okay, so if you are getting to a point you probably may not be able to see, no, let's undo that. You may not be able to see. Make sure you reduce the opacity so that you see what you're doing. So maybe 75%. I'll keep clicking and dragging. Okay, so let's say this was 100%. If there was a part probably here you don't see it, that's why I was saying you reduce the opacity. So here I can click and move this over to this portion, and I'll click and drag again. So basically we are just using the pen tool for everything. And once I get to this portion, I'll just press enter on my keyboard, and let's name this by double clicking on name it head. Okay, now let's dive a little bit within. So let me hide this and pick a new color, so probably the darker portion. Click on OK. I'll grab my pen tool one more time, so we'll draw the black part as well. Let me reduce the opacity. Okay, right about here. Now you notice that the fill didn't change, and according to what I've already selected, so you can double click on the shape. It's a shape, so you can double click on the thumbnail, then you select the color we are using right now. So once I'm done, I'll just hit enter on my keyboard, and we'll pick this black color too. We have black at this portion as well. So over here, So basically you are just clicking and dragging several times. Now to make this video short, I'll be speeding up some portions, so once we are all done, we just move along. Okay, reduce the opacity, click around here, and probably here as well. Press enter. We move on to the other side, which would be this side. So click and drag. Okay, so this is what I have, but you notice that if I reduce the opacity, some parts are darkened and some parts are not. So what we can do is replace that top layer with a different color, and that's going to overwrite or cover up this portion. So again, with the pen tool, let me reduce this so that I see what I'm doing. I'm just going to select outside this portion. So this entire area is supposed to be a lighter color, not as darkened as what we were using before. Okay, so I'll have that up here. Okay, now let's change the color to a lighter color. Wait, this is what we were using from before, so probably, I don't know, probably this color should do just fine. So press enter on your keyboard. Now let's increase everything to 100%. I mean every opacity to 100%. This is what we have. So this is for starters, this is what we have created, and we just have to continue. So let me just hide everything, bring up our image one more time, and continue drawing. Okay, so at this portion I like to make this part white. So let's try that and see. I'm just double clicking on my keyboard, on my mouse I should say, and these parts are also going to be white. Let me see. Okay, so let me hide them again, and let's create the white portions which are going to be here. So let's have that one on top. So again, let's clicking and dragging over here. I wouldn't like to move too much up. Now, so always keep reducing the opacity, because if you don't do that, you won't see what you are creating from behind. Okay, so enter on the keyboard. Let's move over to this side as well. Click. Now I'm not going to make mine too perfect because in actual sense I've already created this, but yours should be as perfect as you want it to be. So I'm just clicking over random edges. Okay, the eyes are going to be white, so let's draw over that portion as well. This side too. Click and drag, hold down Alt, bring this anchor point back, and do it one more time here. So enter on your keyboard. You do the same for this side. Now this is very time consuming, but if you're interested in getting the result, then there's nothing stopping you from continuing. This should take you about 30 minutes to get it done. That's if you want to create a perfect art, but it could be more if you want to add more. That's totally up to you. Anyway, so at this point I'll reduce opacity again because I can see what's here. Holding down Alt, I'll click and drag this back. Okay, so let's increase the opacity of everything and let's see where we are now. So holding down Shift, I'll just select everything and increase the opacity to 100. So yeah, this is what we have. I don't like the blue color, so let me make it a bit darker. Let me see, maybe here is okay. Then these sides, let me make it strictly black. Okay, I think this part too should be black. Perfect. Okay, this can be the same color as this, so I'll just pick the color from here. Okay, so we aren't done. It's left with the other part. Anyway, one more thing. If the colors are the same, let's say we have white, all these are white. Okay, that isn't. You can just select them all, right click and merge shapes. So that's going to put all of them together, but you can leave all of them too as one. That's totally dependent on you, but I like to merge them so that it makes my work a lot easier. So these colors are also identical. I'll just merge them up, call them gray, even though it isn't. So this entire thing is black, so I'll call this black. I don't know, it just makes it easier for me. Okay, so let's hide them up and let's see. Okay, so we have a little bit of white up here too. So again, your pen tool, click and drag. So let's reduce opacity, click and drag. No, click here, click and drag, press enter. We'll do the same for here. Click. So maybe just opacity. Okay, so where else? Yeah, this side as well. Reduce opacity. Okay, enter. So we can bring it back. Okay, I think this is much better. Let's see what we have. So all these are white. Let me just increase the opacity and merge them up. I'm placing this on top because I want the name to be the same so that I wouldn't have to change it. Now let's just say this was beneath them. The moment I merge them up, it's going to take the name of the top layer, so I have to rename it, and I was trying to prevent that. Oh, okay, let me just cancel. I was trying to save the work. Now we are not done. It's left with these parts, so that will be black, so I'm going to have it on top of black, or let me just put it beneath black. Either way I'm going to get the same result. So let's brush over these black portions. Okay, so I'll just increase the length of my shapes. Hit enter on the keyboard. Let's create another one here, so that will be here. So basically that's what you are going to do for everything else. For this tutorial I'll just be creating the face. The rest of the body you can do the same thing to it. Basically we're going to get the same result. Okay, so let me have these two beneath, so that when I merge them up it's going to take the name of the top layer. Okay, I think this is looking much better. Now a few tricks I do after creating the shape is, let me just hide this. Let's create a new layer, and I don't know, let's paint it black or white, anyway you choose to paint it. Okay, so when I click on the head, I'm going to FX, and I'll go to inner shadow. So I want to create a shadow from over here, so that our light source will be coming from this direction. Now if you look at the image, you can see that we have shadow being cast from down here. The top, there's light from this top, so there's light coming from this source, and there's shadow being cast on this area. So we are trying to create the same scene, but we don't have light, and we are not going to be creating light now, but we want to have that effect. So with the head layer selected, click on FX and click on inner shadow. Okay, now on inner shadow, let me increase the opacity so that we see what you are doing. If use global light is selected, make sure you uncheck that. So I'll click and drag from any portion of the image. So we want the shadow to be right around here, and the glow is going to come from the top here. So shadow probably at this side. Now I just increase the opacity so that you can see, but I'm going to reduce it in a bit. So right around here is okay. Then let's reduce the opacity to about 30%, or let's make it 25. Okay, now for the blacks we are going to leave them like that. For a gray and white, the same thing. Now with the head again, we want to have light from this side, so we are going to create some fake light on our subject. So again, inner shadow. By this time around, if you are using the latest version of Photoshop, you can add a new effects to this same thing. So let's start with that one. Now with that one again, let me increase the opacity so that you see. With the second inner shadow, I'm going to have it coming from this direction. Okay, so from this direction, I'll change the blend mode from multiply to normal. I'm going to change the color to white. Okay, so reduce the size so that it appears to be a size about 5, should be just fine. Then this will be 10. Okay, so right around here should be okay. Now if you can't see this, let me create a gradient over our white background so that you see the effect. And let me make it radial, increase it to 1000 and make it like so. Okay, so this is what we created. You can see that there's light coming from that side. So let's go back to FX. Okay, so our second inner shadow, you click and drag and adjust it accordingly, depending on how you want it, obviously. And when you are done, you reduce the opacity, so probably 25 one more time. Hit OK. So this is what we are getting. Now just in case you are not using the latest version of Photoshop, you know what, let's duplicate this. I don't want to spoil the actual work. In case you are not using the latest version and you have just one FX, which is this one, so once you are done with the inner shadow we created from the first one, just right click and click on rasterize layer style. This is going to merge the entire layer and the effect as well. So you go back to FX, then you click on inner shadow one more time. But with this you wouldn't be able to undo your changes or make changes to them once you've rasterized the layer style. Okay, now that we've done this, we can apply what we are using from before. Let me increase it so that you see. Okay, so just as I said before, color white, change the blend mode to normal. Okay, so this is what we did. Then we reduce the opacity to 25. So basically that's what you are going to do for the rest of the image. I'll try and complete this in about a few seconds. So let's speed up this work. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Whew. Oh, I forgot one thing. I didn't draw the body. Okay, so let's just have it on top here. Let me just create some rough sketch. Like I said, I'm not going to make this perfect. Okay, right around here. Alright, enter on the keyboard. Let's change the color to this, or probably let's make it darker. Okay, so basically that's it. Yeah, one more thing. If you want to get this cool looking dot you see over here, this is how I created mine. I went to FX with the body shape selected, obviously FX, then pattern overlay, then oh come on, that's too much. Then I think I changed it to this one, yeah, and I reduced the opacity to about 5. The scale, let's leave it at 100. I think the opacity was much lesser, yeah, I think 2. So let's right click, copy layer style, and paste it on top of this. Paste layer style, and we can paste it on top of the face 2 as well. Know what, that's going to affect the first effect we created, so let's just do the same thing over here. So pattern size 2 and just hit OK. So basically that's it. You are going to change the different colors. Let me see. Okay, that would be the neck. This is the body. So basically that's it. You go through this hectic process, and once you're done you come out with something really nice. Okay, so let me change the color of this and make it black and increase the opacity. Okay, so yeah, basically that's the whole idea. Feel free to go through this and come up with something very nice. And if this video helped you to create something really cool, please send it to us or drop it in the comment section below. If you have any questions you want to ask, be sure to ask us in the comments below. If you like this video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it as well. Anyway, just to give us some feedback on our future videos. And if you have any ideas you'd like us to talk about or show you in late upcoming videos, you make sure you leave it in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and share with your family and friends. So with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.